Welcome to PsychLens, the channel where we don't just share ideas, we reshape the way you think about yourself and the world around you. Today we dive into the art of building a mind so strong, so unshakable, that it doesn't need to shout or demand attention. Its very presence creates silence in the noise and makes the world pause. Stay with us, because what you're about to hear may shift how you look at strength, resilience, and what it truly means to be unbreakable. The human mind is the most powerful tool we carry, yet very few people learn how to strengthen it in a way that commands respect. Building a mind so strong that it seems unshakable to others is not about showing arrogance, force, or dominance. It is about developing inner clarity, resilience, and independence of thought. When Friedrich Nietzsche spoke of the strong spirit, he was pointing to an ability to stand apart, to think without being swept by the crowd, and to endure life's difficulties without losing direction. A strong mind intimidates the world not because it seeks to, but because it radiates stability in an unstable environment. People are naturally drawn to it, but they also feel uneasy in its presence because it reminds them of what they themselves could become, but have not yet achieved. The first step in building such a mind is learning to endure discomfort rather than avoid it. Modern life conditions us to escape difficulty at every chance, whether it's through entertainment, distraction, or simply rushing to easy solutions. But Nietzsche observed that growth comes through struggle. A strong mind forms in the same way muscles do, through resistance. Imagine someone who never challenges their thinking, who avoids conflict, who only seeks comfort. Their mind remains fragile, easily shaken by criticism or failure. In contrast, a person who faces obstacles directly, who accepts discomfort as part of life, slowly develops psychological endurance. When difficulties arrive, as they inevitably do, such a person does not collapse but adapts, learns, and grows stronger. The world sees this resilience and feels both admiration and a sense of intimidation, because most people are not used to meeting life head-on. Closely tied to endurance is independence of thought. A strong mind cannot simply recycle the ideas handed down by society, friends, or authority figures. Nietzsche emphasized the danger of herd mentality, where individuals blindly follow the majority without questioning. To build strength of mind, one must practice critical thinking, questioning not only the opinions of others but also one's own assumptions. For example, if everyone around you defines success as wealth and social recognition, do you accept that without reflection, or do you stop and ask, what does success mean for me, independent of external approval? This independence is rare because it requires courage to go against the stream. But when you do, your thinking gains a sharpness and depth that others sense. People are often unsettled when faced with someone who does not automatically agree, who is not easily influenced, because it exposes their own dependence on collective opinions. A strong mind also rests on self-discipline. Freedom, in Nietzsche's sense, was not the absence of rules, but the ability to govern oneself. Many people confuse strength with doing whatever they feel like in the moment, but real strength lies in directing impulses rather than being enslaved by them. Take, for example, the person who desires to stay up late every night, eat recklessly, and avoid long-term goals. They may feel free in the moment, but their mind weakens because it becomes reactive, driven by immediate comfort. In contrast, the person who cultivates discipline, waking up early, reading deeply, exercising consistently, creates order within themselves. This internal order translates into mental strength. Others sense it because disciplined individuals act with calmness and purpose, while those without discipline often appear restless and uncertain. Discipline is not glamorous, but it is the hidden foundation that makes a mind unshakable. Equally important is the ability to embrace solitude. Nietzsche often wrote about the need for individuals to separate themselves from the crowd, not permanently, but long enough to hear their own thoughts. A strong mind cannot be built in constant noise, endless conversation, or unbroken stimulation. Solitude allows for reflection, self-examination, and the discovery of authentic desires. Think of someone who cannot spend an evening alone without feeling anxious. This reveals a dependence on external validation. In contrast, the person who can sit quietly, read, think, or simply observe their own thoughts demonstrates a rare self-sufficiency. Such independence unsettles others because it shows a kind of inner wealth that does not rely on constant company or approval. The ability to be at peace with oneself is perhaps one of the clearest marks of mental strength. Another essential element is emotional regulation. People often assume that a strong mind means suppressing emotions, but this is a misunderstanding. Suppression leads to inner tension and eventual collapse. Instead, strength comes from recognizing emotions without being ruled by them. Imagine a heated conflict where one person instantly reacts with anger, shouting or shutting down, while another listens calmly, processes their feelings, and responds thoughtfully. The second person demonstrates true strength, not because they lack emotions, but because they master them. Nietzsche admired the individual who could face life's storms without being tossed helplessly by them. Such composure makes others nervous because it reveals an unusual level of control, something most people lack in moments of stress. Building a strong mind also requires developing the courage to confront truth, even when it is uncomfortable. Most people prefer comforting illusions, the belief that life should always be fair, that happiness is guaranteed, or that failure defines them permanently. Nietzsche encouraged the opposite, to face reality as it is, without hiding behind illusions. This might mean acknowledging your own limitations, taking responsibility for mistakes, or accepting that suffering is an unavoidable part of existence. When you face truth directly, you stop wasting energy on denial. You begin to operate from clarity rather than wishful thinking. The world finds such honesty intimidating because it strips away pretense. It forces others to confront truths they may not be ready to face in themselves. The strength of mind Nietzsche envisioned also involves creating meaning rather than waiting for it to be given. Many people move through life relying on ready-made systems of values, cultural traditions, religious frameworks, or societal definitions. While these can provide guidance, they can also lead to passivity. Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch, often misunderstood, was essentially about individuals who take the responsibility of shaping their own values. This does not mean rejecting everything inherited, but examining it and deciding consciously what to keep and what to transform. For example, instead of adopting the common belief that career success equals worth, a strong-minded individual might decide that creativity, relationships, or personal growth are higher values. This active creation of meaning grants a sense of purpose that others instinctively recognize and often envy, because they themselves may still be drifting in borrowed values. Real-life examples can help clarify these principles. Consider someone like Viktor Frankl, the psychiatrist who survived concentration camps during World War II. He endured unimaginable suffering but refused to let despair define him. Instead, he created meaning in the midst of tragedy by focusing on the idea that human beings always have the freedom to choose their attitude. His mind was strong not because he was untouched by pain, but because he transformed suffering into strength. Another example is modern entrepreneurs or leaders who succeed not by following common paths, but by thinking independently, taking risks, and maintaining composure through repeated failures. Their strength lies less in external success and more in the inner qualities of resilience, discipline, and vision. All these elements, endurance, independence, discipline, solitude, emotional regulation, honesty, and creation of meaning, work together. A strong mind is not built overnight. It develops gradually through repeated choices. Each time you resist the easy path and choose the meaningful one, you add to its foundation. Each time you sit in solitude rather than running from yourself, you deepen your clarity. Each time you regulate an emotion instead of exploding, you strengthen your self-mastery. Over months and years, these small acts accumulate, forming a mind that others cannot easily shake. When such a mind moves through the world, people notice. They may feel admiration, curiosity, or even discomfort, because it highlights their own weaknesses. This is why a strong mind intimidates, not through aggression, but through the quiet power of presence. It does not need to prove itself loudly. Its confidence is silent, its independence obvious, and its clarity unmistakable. Nietzsche did not suggest that everyone would reach this level, but he believed each individual has the potential to move closer to it by choosing growth over comfort, truth over illusion, and independence over conformity. Ultimately, building a mind so strong that it intimidates is less about others and more about yourself. The goal is not to control or impress the world, but to cultivate resilience, clarity, and authenticity so that you live fully and freely. If others feel unsettled by that strength, it is only a reflection of their own unrealized potential. The true reward lies in knowing that your mind is no longer fragile, no longer dependent, but a steady force capable of carrying you through life with dignity and depth. Nietzsche's wisdom serves as a reminder that strength is not given. It is built patiently, deliberately, through the choices you make each day. You've just uncovered the path to a kind of mental strength that doesn't depend on approval, that doesn't bend to pressure, and that leaves an impression without saying a word. The real question now is, will you choose comfort, or will you choose growth? At PsychLens, we believe the power is already within you. If this journey sparked something in you, don't just leave it here, carry it forward, and let your presence be the kind that speaks louder than words.